Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. I'm going to be doing a video game review, and it's a game that just came out recently. It's Yugioh Millennium Duels. It's for the Xbox 360. It was released on the Xbox Live Marketplace. It only costs $10 US, which is pretty good for any video game. I'd say normally video games, when you go buy them from the store, are about 50 bucks. So this is relatively cheap. So I thought I'd give it a go because it was so cheap. Anyway, so as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, I've rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a really fun game to play. I found myself playing it for hours and hours. And some of the reasons I really like this game is you can test out decks that you haven't been able to try in real life. Maybe you don't want to buy the cards yet because some of the cards are expensive. You can build the deck in this game. It includes all the sets up to Shadow Specters, I think. I'm not 100% sure because I don't have all the cards yet, but I have seen cards that were released in Shadow Specters, so it does contain a pretty recent set of cards. And you can build some pretty new style decks. So I definitely like it for that kind of aspect of it. Another thing I like is that if you're playing against the CPU, they're not going to rage quit. So this is probably an advantage over something like Dueling Network or Yugioh Pro, where, you know, as soon as you start doing one of your big plays, people just quit. It gets kind of annoying. And you also don't have to argue with people over the rules if you're playing on, like, Dueling Network, because the AI takes care of all the rules for you. So that's pretty good. And it's just a fun game to play because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's something a little different than what I'm used to. But some of the reasons I didn't like this game. So it takes a really long time to collect your cards. So basically how you get cards in this game is there's a series of duelists that you have to play against, and every time you beat one of those duelists, you get about 8 to 10 cards. The first card is one of the cards from their deck. I think it's selected at random, I'm not sure. The other cards that you get are just completely random. So basically it's like you open a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards every time you beat someone. And you don't, it's not like you get to pick what set you're opening from, it's just a random draw out of the whole pool of cards that are in this game. So it takes a really long time to be able to build up a decent card pool so that you can build some of these decks. So I recommend that if you're going to play this game, you better have some patience because it's going to take forever. And actually what I did is, you can see in this video here, I'm using a Constellar deck. And you might think, well, you must have played a lot if you collected all those cards. But no, there's actually downloadable content that you can pay for. There's a few like pre-built decks that you can buy. I think they're $2.99 each, so relatively cheap. Like, well, if you're gonna buy the deck in real life, it's always gonna cost you more than $3. So this is real cheap. And so one of the decks was Constellars. I think there's also Bujins and Prophecy and maybe a Gusto deck or something. I don't know, but there's definitely a couple decks that you can pick from. And I definitely recommend that you spend the extra $3 to get one of those decks at the start of the game, because it just makes the game so much more enjoyable, and you can beat the duelists so much faster, because obviously those decks have bigger plays than the really crappy starter deck that they give you. So I definitely recommend that, because, as I said, it takes forever to collect cards to be able to build your own decks. Another thing I really did not like about this game was, if you have set a card, for example, Safe Zone, that could be chained at pretty much any moment during either player's turn, they ask you to chain that card whenever anything happens. For example, if your opponent draws a card, when your opponent changes their draw phase to their standby phase, anything like that, when they set a card, and then same thing on your turn, when you set a card, when you play a card, when you draw a card, it gets real annoying that they keep asking you to chain these cards. What I found is you can actually hold down the B button and it will automatically say no to chaining those cards, but I recommend you don't do that during your opponent's turn, because if your opponent plays a card, say Dark Hole or something, and you actually do want to chain to it, if you're holding B, it'll automatically just say that you don't want to chain. And then your monsters will get destroyed, and maybe you did have something like Safe Zone that you wanted to chain. So I recommend maybe you hold down B during your turn, but don't do it during your opponent's turn. It does get a little annoying, so you will be holding B down a lot, but I mean, what can I say? It's just one of those things that goes along with the AI running all the rules for the game. And the final thing I didn't really like about this game is the deck editor. It takes forever to get used to. So, like, for example, something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or Dueling Network, their deck editors are so easy to use. The cards appear at the side of the screen, you just drag them into where your deck is. It's really easy to use. Your deck is all laid out, you can see all the cards at once. The deck editor in this game is just, it's a little harder to use. It takes a while to get used to. So don't get discouraged if you're trying to build a deck at the start and you can't really figure out what to do. It does take some time. Anyway, so those are the main things that I've decided that I like and don't like about this game. I have decided to give it a 4 out of 5 star rating, and the reason is just it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's really fun to play, and anyone who's a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to enjoy playing this game. And I would also definitely recommend this to all of my viewers, just because the fact that it's only $10. If you don't like it, you're only spending $10. It's not like you're buying a $50 video game. So if you really think that you want to try something different, you don't want to be playing against people who are rage quitting all the time, then try this game out. Only $10 on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and I definitely think that you're going to have fun playing this game. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and you will be seeing more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in the near future. Thank you guys for watching.